Hello and welcome to the 2020 Portland Film Festival. Today we're excited to celebrate with you a champagne toast opening the annual Independent Film Festival. We have a lineup of some amazing speakers followed by a keynote with Ted Hope. So with that, I'd like to introduce a band that we have that we'd love to share with you, who actually runs a nonprofit in Portland, Oregon. She refurbishes old and forgotten pianos, paints them, and finds new homes for them throughout Portland. So we're super excited to bring her band to play for us tonight. And her name is Megan Diana, and she has a new album out called Water Baby, and I recommend everyone go out and buy it. So let's go ahead and move over to Holocene for the live concert.
Okay. All right. We're live and it's time to rock. I'm Megan Diana. Let's go.
The fall starts today. The leaves and the trees fade away. The sun comes through, fills earth and space. And I lay still until you come into my view. You're all in my mind, always. No one else I see. Just stay. The sun comes through, I touch your face, and I won't stop until you tell me to. I don't know, I don't know, it's enough to make you stay here. If you can, I don't wanna be alone with the sun burning bright, leaving all my mistakes outside. You fall so far away. It's dark, the same all day. The sun comes through, I touch your face, but I can't move until you say my name. But I don't know, I don't know if I can hold on, stay here. Don't you leave me all alone. You're the sun rising up, leaving all your light below. If you go, if you leave, life will feel the same to me. Can't you see? You're another part of me. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here.
That was good. Let's do the computer. All right, this is a song of mine called Computer.
I knew that you were something, I had to figure it out. Spend the days and nights just wondering I'll see you. And then you walked right into my life. And then I couldn't think of how it was like before you. Am I cool? Am I brave? I don't know the difference. Is it true? Is it all just the work of the new? Keep it still, keep it safe, then you don't make no mistake. But then you look me in my eyes and you say you feel that the power, electric love in the sky. Connect me forever, compute that beam of light. You know the words I'm thinking, you hold them inside yourself. Just copy on that feeling, then you find it something else. If this is information, why can't you just help me out? You left it on, someone comes to tell us all about what is real, what is wrong. I don't know the difference on the screen. In your life, you think you want it all. Did I see you make a mistake? You never know, but then you look me in my eyes. Hey, you say you feel that the power, electric love in the sky. Connect me forever, compute that beam of light. Hey. I don't know what I want, but make it last forever. I need a signal to tell me how to live tomorrow. If you're coming my way, I wanna hear you say to me, you feel that the power, electric love in the sky. Connect me together and bring me back to love. There are words I could say, but when they come out, they don't mean a thing. They don't mean a thing. I walk away, you walk away. We see that space between you and me, between you and me. But I don't see it. This is what I get, trying to say what you mean to me, what you mean to me. I can't even speak, I can't even breathe. I love you, is that true? Would you know it if I could say the things I feel in my head? Or can I admit that I had another problem instead? Did you get what you want? I always thought we were strong, but then we pulled this apart. And now I'm writing this song. Oh no, I don't even know, but I can't let you. I can't let you go. Take a break, you say. Break it up in the end. What was the point? Now I can't even call you my friend. I wanna know, do you think of me? Are we the same? Hey, do you even speak? Can you talk about me? I wanna know, am I still the one? I wanna talk, but you won't pick up your phone.
Okay. We're going to do a song called Siren. Siren song. You ready? This is my friend Raymond. For those of you out there, and here. All right.
I have waited so long just for you to come home. I just don't know what I'd do without you. Hear my siren song. Yeah, this is my lover's call. You said from east to west, so you can fight with the best, but you can't fight the sense that I'm here at your windowsill. Yeah, calling out for you still, like this. come back. But you can't fight off the sense. I'm here at your window soon. Yeah, calling out for you still. Look what you did to me. All I can do is say, yeah, come back to set me free. Lover, be true to me. I remember the day that you went away. That's why I gave you this song, so that you can find your way back home. Yeah, when you've been gone for so long. Come back, come back. That's why I gave you this song, so that you can find your way back home. Yeah, when you've been gone for so long. Far out at sea. Listen and think of me. Yeah, darker inside the deep. Follow me through your dreams. I have waited so long just for you to come home. I just don't know what I'd do without you in my siren song. Yeah, I can sing for so long.
Oh, yeah. I think this is our final song. Okay. Okay. All right. And we haven't played The Warmth. All right, we're going to do a new song called The Warmth. We've been working on an album. It's called Cabin Fever. We're going to be releasing a song called Cabin Fever in the next 10 days. And it's going to be the whole heart of this album. All right. You ready?
Everything that you want, everything that you need, a conscious girl in the heart, the rings of time on a tree. There ain't nothing to prove, there ain't nothing for you to pay. I only know in this moment I wanna see you today. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's better, better, so better. So, yeah, you are the sun. Yeah, yeah. I wanna see you today. Give me something to drink. It might be whiskey, but it's still tasting good. Tell me, what did you think? A stranger comes in the door and comes right for you. Oh, tell me, tell me, tell me. Hey, yeah, you. I don't know where you came from, but I know that you feel really do. There's something you can recognize inside of me, inside of you. Yeah. We are the sun. Yeah, yeah. I love you like a deep breath. Love you like the warm wind. Just like a nervous laugh. You're like a feeling within me. I love you like the bus when it turns the corner to my stop. Oh, 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 oh.
All right. One more song it is. Shall we do Sunset Lullaby? Okay. You ready?
Sunsets here, hey, you are there, and I am here, and where are we? You can see that it ain't fair to me. And now we sleep. So I dream, so I sing, so I think, so I read, so I so I ride. All I feel is you, love, tonight.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Portland Film Festival. And we're excited, thanks to this great partnership with Comcast, we're able to screen our champagne toast and keynote speeches live to you in your home using your Xfinity and Flex remote. Super excited. My name is Joshua Leek. I'm the executive director of the Portland Film Festival, but there are over 200 volunteers and staff members that help put this year's film festival together. That being said, as you're watching along tonight, if you'd like to say anything, make sure you use hashtag PDXFF. I am excited to introduce to you our director of programming. He's been with the festival for about 4 years, and it was quickly apparent that his taste was really popular. He's one of the best programmers we've ever had, and he's going to go ahead and talk a little bit about our programming this year. Mr. Joe Stevens, are you available to get online and talk with us? There you are. Joe's there. Can you hear us, Joe?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
I don't know about my taste, but yeah, I've definitely enjoyed working with the Portland Film Festival these last, 6 years?
Yeah, Joe, you have been an amazing part of the festival, and this year you're our director of programming.
Yeah, as I was last year. Yeah.
Exactly. Is there anything that you can tell everyone about the films that you've watched this year? I mean, we all talked about how hard it is to make that decision of who's in a festival and who's not going to be in the festival. But is there anything you can tell us about the films that you watched this year?
I can say that a lot of the films I loved didn't make it in. It's not, not my personal choice. Often it's about what we feel is right for the time we're programming. I mean, we used a lot of blocks this year. We wanted to highlight female voices, female gaze, Black voices. We wanted to put a spotlight on Indigenous issues. So a lot of films that I personally loved didn't make it this year, but we felt that it was important to take a stand for something.
I like that, Joe, a stand for something. Well, I'm excited. We're going to come back to Joe. I think you're in the studio now, which is where people can come and watch a movie in one of our screening pods. Is that correct?
That's absolutely true.
Awesome.
We expect some traffic here in the next few minutes. We should have a party coming in about 10 minutes.
Awesome. Cool. And of course, everyone is social distancing, and you don't have your mask on, but you're more than 6 feet away from everyone.
Yeah, there's nobody around me, and I am absolutely socially distancing. We're making sure everything's up to code here. We've got temperature scanners, we've got masks, we've got face shields. Everything's
perfect. And you've got a glass of champagne ready to toast. Excellent. So hopefully everyone at home is gonna toast with you. I'm super excited. We have another speaker with us today, and she's the president and CEO of Easter Seals. She has over 35 years providing employment and training and services for individuals with significant disabilities and other barriers to employment. She is currently serving as the president and CEO of Easter Seals Oregon, and has worked for 16 years as assistant vice president at Workforce Solutions and the national director of the Senior Community Service Employment Program for Easter Seals National Headquarters. She has worked extensively and collaboratively with America's Job Centers located in over 30 states, promoting seamless service delivery models and co-location agreements for programs serving populations with significant barriers to employment, seniors, individuals with disabilities, at-risk youth, and veterans. She's administered federal programs funding through SAMHSA, DOL, Department of Ed, DSHS, DASA, HUD, CDC, and she's administered programs in conjunction with the state JTPA and WIA, Job Corps, Youth Opportunity Grants. Our guest tonight, who I am super excited to introduce, Carol A. Salter, is amazing and such a wonderful person for our community. And we're super excited to have you here with us today. And it's so strange we're doing this virtually.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. I am so excited to be here today, and I'm really eager to look at some of the films that are coming out. We had wonderful music just then. I did want to tell you a little bit about another special film festival that we had, sponsored by Easter Seals, the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge. Easter Seals is a national nonprofit agency that works with individuals with disabilities, veterans, children with disabilities, and we want to make sure that people with disabilities are 100% included and 100% empowered in all the industries and experiences. We have programs in the United States, Canada, and Australia. Although there's more than 56 million Americans living with disabilities, there's a lot of unique stories in our community that often are untold. The annual Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge addresses this underrepresentation by empowering filmmakers, actors, and other creators with and without disabilities to take their careers into their own hands. By seeing the stories reflected on the screen, these films inspire people to open conversations about people with disabilities and people without disabilities. It expands the audience's understanding of disability in today's world. So the Easter Seals Disability Challenge, Film Challenge, gives people the platform to use creative ways of telling stories to share their perspectives as individuals with disabilities. Writers, producers, and actors, once they were told that the Film Challenge was on, only had 55 hours to create and submit their short stories showcasing disability issues. So very many unique experiences were developed due to the challenge. Participants had to share what they learned, and they documented how they hope to see diversity portrayed in future media. Anybody can watch these phenomenal films and the winners of the Film Challenge on www.disabilityfilmchallenge.com.
And they can also, Carol, watch them through our website. We have them available at portlandfilm.org. And we also have them, thanks to a great partnership with Comcast, throughout the nation. All you have to do is grab your Xfinity X1 or Flex remote and say Portland Film Festival, and you'll be able to watch those movies for free. Now, Carol, I have another person that you may know. He's actually the person that runs the Disability Film Challenge, and he's here today a little bit. Nick, are you there? Maybe
Nick,
join us.
I'm here. Hey,
Hey, Nick.
how's it going?
Good to see you.
Great.
And I know Nick, everyone is really busy. He's a professional comedian. He's been going around town and he's been traveling all over. So I know you just got back into town like an hour ago.
Yeah, it's we're actually doing drive-in movie theater tours. So we're trying to stay safe, but also keep that entertainment going, which I feel, Carol, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction about the Film Challenge and what it is. Many of you can't see me because, we're so close, but I'm a little person. Maybe you could see with my hand, but, I'm 3'10". So really early in my career, I realized that if I wanted to act and write and kind of play the kind of roles that I wanted to play, that I would have to be in charge of my career. So really, take it in my own hands. And with the Film Challenge, that's really what we're trying to do. Allow other people with disabilities to take their career in their own hands. And work leads to work. I've been in over 40 TV shows and movies. I've gotten the chance to work with Martin Scorsese, the Farley brothers, but a lot of that has been me producing my own content. And, I created the Disability Film Challenge 7.5 years ago and partnering with Easter Seals Southern California and the Easter Seals affiliates around the country really took it to the next level. I mean, to date, we've had hundreds of films created, countless opportunities for people in front of and behind the camera. And as Carol said so beautifully, this is about people with disabilities telling their story. And many times the disability is not forefront in the, in the like story, but just it's just including people with disabilities and just letting it be another layer, because that's what we are. This Portland Film Festival, I think you guys do such a great job of being inclusive and showing underrepresented audiences to America. And thank you to this partnership with Comcast. I can't wait for all of America to see these amazing films.
And we're super excited because your films are going to be available for the next 30 days. So people, all they need is the Comcast internet, and you'll be able to use your X1 or Flex remote. Simply say Portland Film Festival, and you guys, we have a section which we're calling Voices of Ability. In addition, we're going to do a conversation with Nick. So if anyone out there has questions about him, and maybe he'll tell us a joke or two for his conversation that we do. But we're excited about that. We're going to do a Q&A with all the directors from the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge that won this most recent edition. In addition, we have, I believe, over 4 workshops where this year, I believe we have over 220 directors that have films at our festival, including directors in our Voices of Ability track. And we have 4 workshops dedicated to discussing the voices of ability, making sure people realize, how to work with people with disabilities, and how not to do it, and how to do it. And I'm really excited that Nick has helped us program that. In addition, we have Keely from who also runs the world's only talent agency focused completely on actors with disabilities, and we're just super excited for those workshops this weekend. And I believe they're at 1:30 and 3:30, but you can look on our program. They'll be webcast through Comcast as well. So if you have the Comcast cable, you're definitely going to be able to watch everything. And thank you too for coming out tonight and supporting the Voices of Ability. And is there anything else you guys would like to say?
I'd love to thank both of you for those kind words and for introducing the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge to this audience. And I can't wait until everyone gets the chance to see these amazing films. I would like to say one last thing, though, too, regarding the film challenge. Now, normally, this is a weekend film competition where we're making narrative short films. But this year, because of COVID, we changed things up, and we made it so that our filmmakers could make films from the safety of their homes. So these are documentary short films, and we wanted to make sure that people continue to tell their story and stay creative. And we were thinking, well, we're not going to get as many films this year because it's a little different. Well, we had a record-breaking amount of films. So if you're able to, go to the website that Carol so kindly shared, because we had 87 amazing films. But most importantly, make sure you go to that Comcast and voice type in Portland Film Festival so that you can see those 11 finalists that are all so proud and honored to be associated with such a great film festival and such an amazing organization as Comcast.
I'd also like to just give a quick shout out to Comcast for their wonderful portrayal of Voices of Ability. That's going to be very exciting to watch too. Thank you.
Yeah, we're super excited. Well, thanks you guys for joining us tonight. Here's a champagne toast for your wonderful evenings, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the film festival. And Carol, we'll definitely get you some passes if you'd like to share those around to watch some of those movies online. And like I said, they're available right now on Comcast. So it's really easy. Portland Film Festival with your voice remote. So thanks again, you two. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Nick.
Bye, Carol.
Well, that was amazing. So I'm going to see, is Joe still with us, Michael? There you go, Joe. So you've got your mask now, which is great. So tell us a little bit more. We have 2 other tracks that we focused on. We have Voices of Ability, and our second track was...
We had this year we're doing Voices of Ability, Female Gaze, Black Voices, Indigenous Voices. We are doing a Portland track. We're doing our Future Filmmaker track. We're doing quite a few things.
Cool. And on Comcast, we have 4 tracks this year. We have Black Voices, we have The Female Gaze, Voices of Ability, and we have The Future Filmmakers. Do you want to talk about any of those tracks before we move on?
I think the one we haven't talked about is Future Filmmakers. Future Filmmakers is something I actually love about this festival. We partner with the Boys and Girls Club, and we go out to a local chapter, spend a day with the kids, shooting, writing, conceiving of a film, and then getting it done. And it's always interesting to see what the kids come up with. The last 2 years we've done horror films, and it's been pretty fun to see what the kids consider monsters. But they always create something that's creative and entertaining.
Yeah. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about Black Voices? What did we do this year? What did you find? What did you see?
With Black Voices, I primarily wanted to focus on Black directed movies, or at least a Black writer, someone who could speak to the experience of being Black. I was looking primarily for America, but if you had anywhere else, that worked for me too. But I wanted to be able to tell the story of the Black experience and however it comes. It's not monolithic in any means, but it's definitely a voice that needs to be shared. Agreed.
Last thing, today is Indigenous Film Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Can you talk to us a little bit maybe about some of the films that we have for that?
We do have an Indigenous film block, a shorts block, and 2 features. We have an incredible shorts block filled with so many films I find amazing. We have 1 local film in that block. Local, Pacific Northwest, it's all local. A healing journey about a community rediscovering their roots. And it's just one of my favorite films we've programmed. We have, for Walter and Josiah, it's a just gorgeous, gorgeous film that will tear you up inside if you're not not prepared for a little tragedy. We have Monkey Beach, which is it's a good movie. It's got a very recognizable face. I'm sure everyone recognizes Adam Beach. So I'm very proud of our Indigenous track this year. This is the first year I've had to program it myself. So this is it was a challenge. Usually I have someone program it for me, someone who's a little closer to her Indigenous roots, but she isn't with us this year.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that award that we're giving out this year?
Sure. We're giving out the Stacy Stevens Indigenous Spirit Award to our one Indigenous filmmaker. She was our Indigenous programmer for the last, I want to say at least 4 years. And she passed away this year, so she wasn't able to program for us. But
yeah, and she was actually the person that chose the bear this year. You should show us. Is someone recording you? We can look over at the bear to the left of you. I love that bear. Can we see it? We can't quite. There we go. To the other way. There we go. There we go. Bam. Yeah, the one that gave us that bear spirit animal. Each year with the Portland Film Festival, we choose an animal that's indigenous to Oregon, and this year was the year of the bear. So, hey, Joe, thank you for talking with us. I know you're going to be available most of the week at our lobby, and you can find that at portlandfilm.org. Just click on that virtual lobby, and Joe will probably be in there a couple times to talk to people. He's super excited about getting all these films out there. So thank you, Joe. We'll talk to you later. I'm excited to introduce the next gentleman, and it goes without saying that this film festival, especially with all this COVID stuff going on, would not be possible without the wonderful support and innovation, really, of Comcast. Comcast is, it recently was named as one of the best places to work at here in Oregon. I'm sure Comcast would be a great place to work at anywhere in the world. But with the challenges of COVID, a lot of film festivals in the world decided not to actually take place. They canceled. And we were able, through our partnership with Comcast, to do some really innovative things this year. First off, obviously, we're screening live to the 30 million subscribers through our own channel on Comcast. Now, that is amazing. This is the first time they've ever done it. But you can simply pick up your Flex or Xfinity remote and say Portland Film Festival, and you can find a collection of films and actually watch workshops and talks. And none of this technology, none of this would really happen without the partnership of Comcast. And I'm excited to introduce one of our partners. His name is David Tashina. I think I pronounced that correct. Did I mispronounce that, David?
Tashjian. It looks harder than it actually is.
I'm sorry, David. I owe you a drink for that. So I wanted to thank you for coming. I know you were probably working. I have friends that work at Comcast, and I know you guys are up night and day, making sure everyone's internet is perfect, making sure everyone's phones are working. I mean, you guys have so much to do. I'm really, really appreciative of you joining us tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. And what a privilege and an honor to follow some of the great folks in front of me, such fantastic stories. And I so look forward to watching all the films. As you said, Josh, my name is David Tashjian. I'm the regional senior leader here for Comcast in Oregon and Southwest Washington. And we couldn't be more pleased with our sponsorship and partnership with the Portland Film Festival. And it so ties into everything that our company believes in, and making sure that the small voices are heard. We may be a very large company, but we make it a big part of what we do each and every day to make sure that voices that can't be heard otherwise are heard. What an incredible groundbreaking technology breakthrough we've had when it comes to the Portland Film Festival. You said it, Josh. It's the first time ever we've taken a local film festival and put it across our entire platform. Amy Kiter, who leads our external communications for our organization here in the region, helped make that possible. And I would say that it was down to the 11th hour to make sure that it was in place. I'm so proud of everything the team has done. As a former amateur thespian and somebody that loves film and loves the arts, just so happy to be a part of this. So thank you. It's our privilege and honor. And thank you, everyone that is an Xfinity or Comcast customer. It's been an incredible time for us. We have spent every day since the early days of the pandemic making sure that customers were connected, making sure that our folks could get access school, access work, working with our Internet Essentials programs, ensuring that folks that maybe can't afford internet services are able to be connected. So I'm going to move on to the rest of your guests. It's just such an honor to be a part of the great speakers, and look forward to all the films and the wonderful music that we got to hear as well. So thank you all very much. Thank you to the Xfinity and Comcast team, as well as the Portland Film Festival.
Yeah, I mean, huge thanks. I mean, with love, everyone really thanks the Comcast company. We thank everyone that works there, especially Amy and Zane, who's been helping us from corporate on the technology. And, you guys are doing some amazing things. I had a friend of mine's daughter came over to use my internet because they didn't have Comcast to get on to use their schooling this morning. I got to tell you, Comcast, you guys are always there. And especially with this pandemic, when we're all so isolated, you guys are really connecting people. And I just want to thank you and let you know that we really appreciate the sponsorship. Thank you so much.
Means a lot. Your thanks is very welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, David. Okay, so I'm excited now. We have our keynote speaker, but I'd like to get a champagne glass and wish everyone a wonderful opening to the 2020 Portland Film Festival. There we go. My champagne flute was really, really wanting that. So the next speaker, and I'm surprised that we were able to get this speaker because he's probably one of the most prolific film producers on the planet right now. I had an opportunity to meet him personally in New York in 2012, and he took the best photo I've ever had in my life of me. So Ted probably he doesn't know that, but our next guest recently resigned as co-head of movies at Amazon Studios, where he oversaw the prestigious movies produced, developed, and acquired by the company. Manchester by the Sea, The Salesman, The Big Sick, Cold War, for over 5 years. His 35-year career in film business is defined by an innovative and inclusive approach, always operating from a deep love of cinema, its history, and recognition of its potential. Whether it's helping to launch Amazon Studios and their commitment to theatrical releasing, their foray into worldwide streaming titles, or introducing new voices and new approaches to new audiences from his independent film producing days, Hope champions diverse and bold voices from the world over. Prior to joining Amazon, Hope produced over 70 films, as well as co-founding and co-running the production companies Good Machine. That is it. This is it. And Double Hope Films. Ted's eye for directorial talent has helped launch the feature film careers of Ang Lee, Hal Hartley, Mitchell Gondry, Nicole Holfacenter, and many others. His films have received numerous Academy Award nominations, and a record 3 of them have won Sundance Grand Jury Prize. His filmmaking memoir, Hope for Film, was published in 2014. The new expanded second edition just came out in August. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce Ted Hope.
All right. Thanks for that, Josh. It's great to be here.
Thank you. And then the screen's gonna be yours, and the State of Independent Film by Ted Hope. So Ted, thanks again for joining us tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and get off the screen, Michael, and then we'll let Ted take it away.
I want to see what that photo is and were you wearing clothes? Yeah.
Well, it was Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I remember that.
On stage in front of 15,000 people with his arm around me just after we sang New York, New York. It was a big moment, Ted.
And you called your mom in Australia.
Well, yeah,
well,
she was in Portland, but yeah, I was
right.
I was on the phone when they made the announcements, and my mom was on the phone. She's like, "Well, good luck. I hope you win." And then he called me out, and I had her on the phone. And what are you going to hang up on your mom? I mean, that's not a cool thing. So, Ted, go ahead. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate you taking your time. I know you're a really busy person. Thank you for being so generous, and we'd love to hear from you.
All right. Well, I kind of had to do this because I made my first movie in Portland. It was at the Northwest Film Center. I made it with a bunch of students from Reed. I wasn't there. I was at Lewis and Clark. And it was a movie about a plague that a pandemic that took over the planet. Although the planet wasn't quite like America or the world. It was someplace where people ate little tiny cars for food. It wasn't a very good movie. And somehow I managed to keep going. It probably had more to do with the Truffaut series. I remember I saw that year at the Northwest Film Center. So whoever was running it, thank you. It's good to be back in Portland. Well, so this talk is supposed to be the state of independent film. So where are we, right? For the last 35 years, I think that I've been in the business, as Josh was so polite to mention. I think it's been pretty much the case that every single year we've been in a total shitstorm. I mean, transformation. But this year, I would say it's real, right? That 2020 will go down in history for many, many reasons, the least of which is that the film business totally changed forever. But since all of you are probably filmmakers that are listening to this right now, the question probably is it for better or for worse that we're changing? And I think it is a little bit of a sign of the times that that's how we go, right? For now, we still fall in that kind of binary existence, good or bad, good or evil, right or wrong, male or female, white or black. everything in between. I guess that's a little the truth of this answer too, is it's yes and or both and. It's both good and bad. We will throw some of the babies out with the bathwater. But there's going to be some wonderful things that happen too, I firmly believe. I suppose that the first big change, if we want to address what the world is now for film, is that it's this year that the studio-driven, theatrical, single title, revenue-based model is no longer on top. It's no longer the dominant model, right? They've been replaced. They've been pawned by the global streaming, portfolio-focused, attention-based, and customer acquisition-based platforms, right? So we once were only thought of as walking wallets, and now we're just eyeballs. Now, it's been for some time, like when I took my job 5.5 years ago at Amazon, on my former job, I was convinced we were right around the corner from being in a wholesale holocaust, the streaming wars to end all streaming wars, but I thought maybe in 2 years then we would have intense competition from many different suppliers. And it's only this year, that the year of COVID, the year of so many things, that the streamers finally multiplied, that we now have 6 global streamers. They all still happen to be English language based US set companies, but I think we can rest assured that in short time there'll be at least 6 other companies from across the globe that are also competing. Now for one moment, like let's imagine like how this could have gone differently than what we're actually undergoing now. Like, imagine what would have happened if we had a leader who had acted logically, about the threat and the onset of pandemic. I have to admit that I sometimes wish that in order to run for president of the United States, you had to be an indie film producer or a line producer, because an indie film producer would have been able to pull masks out of thin air, would have used blood from a stone to set up on-site testing everywhere. They would have had a plan B and let's wrap early plan all up their sleeves. And we never would have been in this mess, right? But I digress. My point though is that if it wasn't for COVID, perhaps there would be things that would be going a little bit differently. The 4 other companies that launched during this time would have actually been able to launch during this time, and we would have had a much different world. It's worth kind of going back a little bit to February before the pandemic that Trump didn't control hit, and remembering where we were, back when the promise of Parasite had when Parasite had fulfilled the promise that Moonlight had launched, right? And shown that the type of movies that I love, and I assume you, if you're here at the Portland Film Festival, also love, could actually have could win the Oscar. I mean, had I known that, I wouldn't have slacked off for these 35 years. I would have produced more than 70 films and would have tried to supervise more than the 125 that I did. I would have tried to twice do that amount times 2, because then I would have actually dreamed that what I wanted was possible. But I do think all of you will now be getting that opportunity. You know, you have to recognize that for this whole period of time, for these years, we all knew where we actually stood. We knew that the film industry wasn't a meritocracy, that the best work often did not ever get seen, that the business was run with plenty of inherent bias and systematic prejudice all throughout it, and that nothing was really getting done about it in anything beyond tokenism. Except, of course, occasionally those that did deserve to win did win, like last year at the Oscars and before that. But change is really slow. But all of a sudden, I think we've had a lot of gasoline poured on the fire, and we're going to see things move in a much different way. You have to remember that it was only this year that the number 2 streamer, global streamer in the world, the company that I used to work for, released its first homegrown production of a script they had developed that was released globally, simultaneously, all throughout the world with an adequate marketing budget. That film was Troop Zero, and if you haven't watched it, I hope you do watch it on Amazon. Very pleased to have been part of it. But the fact is, the number 2 streamer has just gotten started too. And because we are in such early stages of this era, we kind of have a marvelous situation. It's marvelous because nobody knows how to do it right yet. Nobody knows how to do it well. The full power of it has yet to be unleashed. Global simultaneous releases used to be reserved only for the tent poles, the franchise films, family films. And now they're for everybody. Filmmakers who tell all different types of stories, every audience throughout the world, and every filmmaker will get the chance at that. So the question becomes, how do we get people all across the globe to not get overwhelmed, to not get distracted, but engage simultaneously? And then hopefully, how do those same people get to take advantage of stuff like this? How do we get to use social media to amplify those voices, to engage community and call out some sort of call to action? The fact that we all can make a type of movie that doesn't need to have a big star in it, that doesn't need to have a big budget behind it, but can reach people all over the world, actually means we're at a place where the world can start to change much faster than it ever has before. Just look at how long it's taken and what it's taken for our industry to wake up and decide to do something about it. It's precisely, I think, the fact that now that we have access to everything, wherever we are, at any time, on any platform, that we actually can see what 120 years of filmmaking has brought us, right? Which seems to me, you may debate it, but it seems to me to be about 60 different stories that get told over and over and over again. And generally, up until now, it's been people who look like me, old, white, straight guys from America or the Western Hemisphere of privilege who star in or get to make those movies. And now, because the business has changed, it has been passed over or grabbed by a industry that actually knows who their customers are. The business recognizes those movies don't represent the people who watch them. And regardless of the need for social or political change, they see the need for business change. If their business is attracting customers, it is the business of customer acquisition, they recognize fully that they have to make movies that reflect who those customers are, both in front of and behind the camera. And although the current 6 leaders in global streaming are all American based, they all quickly start to recognize that's not just their customer base, that they have to make content that the audiences all throughout the world will respond to and engage with, that will feel authentic to them. So they're not going to just be making films in the English language, series in the English language. They're going to be making films in all languages for all the different communities throughout the world. And that's going to just change things 180 degrees, I believe, that we will get to see a much wider breadth of storytelling. It won't all be the hero's journey. It will be told in different ways with people who look the full spectrum of our populations. And it'll be told by people reflective of those populations too. And the thing is, you recognize, you start to look and say, when that business of the streaming is customer acquisition, how many titles are they each going to need to do it well? Well, they have a much different schedule, right? It's all virtual. It's non-linear. They need a new title every week. On the average, long before I went to Amazon, I worked with another company called Fandor. We saw the same sort of thing. If we wanted to acquire customers, we needed to offer them something new every week. So if that's 6 American companies and 6 international companies, and they all need 50 titles a year minimum, let's assume some of them, need twice as much or 3 times as much. They need about 800, 900 new movies a year. That's not even counting the series, right? So you do that math, and very quickly, I think you can start to understand they're not going to actually be able to hire enough people to supervise all those movies, right? So they're going to let the visionaries, the mad people, the outliers, all of you, the artists, to let them go and make the work, to do what they do best. And that's going to mean that we who love cinema, the folks that will be watching everything here, are going to finally have a year. Maybe we had it sometimes in the early 70s, but we're finally going to have a year where we look and we say, oh my God, I saw so many movies that changed my life. So many movies that showed me the full possibility of what cinema could be, that represented who I am, who I never saw before until I saw it up on the screen. That'll be sweet. I hope that comes. But it also means, I think, that there's going to be a different breed of filmmaker and film producer that is needed. One that comes precisely from what all of you who make independent films, who love independent films, have always had to do. The holistic producer. The person that aims to be there from the beginning until forever. Because there is no end ever with a movie. You have to be there for the film's entire life cycle, through every step as it moves through the ecosystem. That's going to be looking for people who are as adept at engineering serendipity as they are from preventing problems, as obsessed with lifting the good into the great as they are towards rendering complexity into something that's like beauty, that are as devoted to the past as they are to the present and the future, as devoted to preservation as much as they are to innovation, as compassionate to the people's struggles of the present as they are to their audiences and their communities. And I think always, looking to whether it's a project or a person or a process to elevate it even further, to recognize that there's always something that we can improve along the way. It's going to reward those who, for what a job well done actually means that you're no longer necessary, that you once went from the most knowledgeable person to the person who shared that knowledge and allowing a lot of people to get it done. In other words, an independent producer or independent filmmaker. And how great if that was the type of person that was actually going to become our next president or something like that. Look, independent filmmaking will never be a good job, but it can be a truly great life. I've seen it happen firsthand, and I look forward to catching up with you again in 10 years, as I've gotten to do with Josh, and getting to see what you've done with that time, the things that you've made happen, the people that you brought together, all the great work that you've shown your appreciation and dedication for, because that will always be the state of independent film. Many people who are doing the exact opposite of being independent, but people who are working together communally to make something better together. That's the state of independent film. It's always been that, and I think it always will be. So let's celebrate that and return to the champagne flute. Thanks.
Go ahead and add me back. Thank you, Ted. This is to you. And we appreciate you spending your time. I know you're busy. Your book just came out.
Thank you for reminding me. Where'd that go? There it is.
For film. And Ted, where should we go out and buy it? Is there a website you want us to go to?
You can only buy your books at Powell's.
Powell's Books, yes.
I'm sure they have it. And if not, bookstore.org, independent bookstores have it. And then there's some other places I used to work for that I'm sure sell it well.
We won't name them, but yes, everyone go to Powell's and buy it. We can definitely support Mr. Powell and his bookstore on Burnside. That's right. I remember talking to you about living in Portland, and do you miss it?
As someone who never thought he would leave New York, I have to admit I'm incredibly happy here in Venice, California.
The weather.
That we do have friends up there in Portland, and I have to say, when I woke up in the middle of the night last week, as I often do, and for whatever reasons, I was trying to think of places that were truly thrilling, and I remembered, both the first time I went to Cannon Beach, the first time I walked across the Bridge of the River Gods, the first time I had a hippie hillbilly with a shotgun pointed at me for sneaking into their hot spring pool. And I was like, I do miss Oregon.
Yeah, we've got a crazy crew here, but there's some good things too. Hopefully you come back. It's a wonderful place. It's beautiful. We're super excited. I know we have a lot of filmmakers. We had a talk yesterday with actor Christopher Mcdonald. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is. And we had a great salon talk with him. And I know all the filmmakers were really, really excited to hear from you. And I know you're a really busy person. And we just really appreciate you coming out and chatting with us. And I love how you said that the life of an independent filmmaker is a good life. It may not be the most glamorous, but I really love how you said that.
Yeah, I really do think this thing about like having to be a holistic producer, the person that might that's going to take responsibility for the water jugs and the recycling as much as they are for the financing and the sale of the film, from getting the actors or getting the crew. Somebody that actually recognizes that all of it is, both a job and a responsibility, but also a privilege. Like, come on, we get to make movies, even if it's just, as our side hustle or whatever it is, to be able to express yourself and share it with others is like a gift, is truly a gift. Now, maybe it shouldn't be, maybe that should be the way of the world. Maybe the only answer to like solving all of this is when, we don't have to worry about like how we're earning our living or things along those lines. But I'm just still, thrilled that I'm here, and somehow miraculously the things have gone in a manner that makes me even more excited for what's coming next than what I've gone through. And I think that a key piece for any filmmaker's career is, how do you plot your longevity? And the best thing to plot your longevity is to try to keep the good people close to you, know what matters most to you, and know that it's really easy to say no. You don't have to just keep saying yes.
That's good advice for any career path. I think definitely a filmmaker could use that. So thank you so much. I'd be sore to not ask you, are there any films that you're looking at right now, or that you're about ready to shoot on, or is there any big projects that everyone should look forward to?
Well, I have to say that one of my best film experiences of the year, a movie that just moved me and blew my mind, and I thought was a work of art and truth telling to the 10th degree, bold and ambitious and heartbreaking and life affirming, all at the same time. Is a movie that Amazon is releasing this coming Friday on streaming, a documentary called Time by Garrett Bradley, which is in some ways Boyhood, but in that it is a longitudinal look at a family that was torn apart by the prison system. Wow. And the amount of love and joy that they found through the ordeal to not only pull each other through, but to lift themselves up. Mm. And I'm a big fan when somebody's filmmaking style can find the way to address the content. I think that's one of the bigger challenging things. And that Garrett Bradley will have a huge, career as an artist for just what she was able to deliver to us with that. I'm really excited to, there's a couple movies that have been announced that I'm involved with at different stages. Steve Gagan is going to be adapting Barbarian Days, Bill Finnegan's novel on surfing and, war journalism. Really unique tale should be very fun to get to make. I'm getting to work with Roger Ross Williams, Oscar-winning documentarian, as he does his first feature, which is going to start and be co-produced by Gael Garcia Bernal. And it's the story of Cassandro, who was the first heroic gay Mexican wrestler, lucha libre, that often they had to play the villains, and he refused to be categorized as one. And despite, or perhaps because of his flamboyance, kind of soared to new heights, as it were, in the wrestling ring. And that hopefully will be shooting. And then a book that I've loved that George Clooney is going to direct called Tender Bar. Hopefully also will shoot this year. So those are some of the films. There's other ones that have yet to be announced that I look forward to talk about. But I think even more than just movies, I love movies, but I actually think we're going to see, for some of the reasons I outlined, a huge change in the film ecosystem. And I really do believe that the industry is going to try to address some of the systematic problems that it's had. Like, there have been attempts to address it, but I really think, as I mentioned, that to date it's been a bit of tokenism, and I actually think there'll be like huge changes afoot. Like, you can see where the components are, where the opportunities are, where it makes sense for business, where it makes sense for culture, where it makes sense for innovation, and where it makes sense for preservation. That I think good things are about to come. That it really will be. These next 10 years will be truly exciting, interesting, but also good times.
Yeah. So now I follow you on Facebook, but if anyone else wants to follow you on, was it at Ted Hope? But is it Hope for Film, I think is your Facebook?
On Facebook, I use their kind of what they call their fan page structure, and that's Ted Hope. And it's also Ted Hope on Twitter. So I'm on the old guys platforms. You can find me on some of the other ones too, but I'm not going to let you see my TikTok videos.
You have a TikTok account? Of course you do.
No. It's under. I only perform in costumes, so I can't let it be known what it is.
That's funny. Are you one of the largest? That's great. You got a big audience out there. Well, they heard it here first. That'll go into Hollywood Reporter. Ted Hope has a TikTok page with costumes. So, well, Ted, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I know you've got to be busy. It's late where you're at, I'm sure. Well, you said Venice, so it's 8 o'clock there too.
It's late. I'm an old man. I go to bed by 9:30.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So, anything else you'd like to say to your audience before we cut this off?
Just thanks for having me here. Make lots of movies. Always just keep working harder, reach high. I think the best movies always will be the experiments and not the proofs. They will always be the films where the filmmakers' reach extends beyond their grasp, where people are willing to take those risks and sometimes fall on their face. But even more importantly, they know how to get back up on that horse and ride. So, I hope our next time is also up on a stage and your mother's there with us, but I hope this time it's a nice little golden guys.
Well, last time I saw you, they were giving me a check for $20,000. So it was a pretty good day. I got to tell you, tonight was also as beautiful, just listening to you. Super excited. It's going to be available on our YouTube channel. I think I sent you the link. So if you want to share it
already, will do.
Thanks again, Ted. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you later. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Bye-bye.
Well, everyone, that's it for us. I believe, are we doing another music thing, Michael? Remember, tickets are available online at portlandfilm.org. We are not doing another musical scene. Would just like to thank all of our support staff, all the staff members at the Portland Film Festival. We'd like to thank our producer, Michael, who is behind the scenes and doing everything. We'd like to thank the wonderful Holly, who's our director of volunteers. We'd like to obviously thank Joe Stevens, our director of programming, and just everyone that has come together to help make the film festival what it is. Thank you, Andrea, for doing all the graphics. Thank you, Comcast, for supporting the festival. Thank you, Zane, for helping us through this, and Amy Kiter as well. Have a great night, everyone. The movies are available. Go watch movies, portlandfilm.org. Have a great day. If you're a filmmaker, we can't wait to do a director's chat with you. Every day of the festival, we're going to do a director's chat at 10 a.m. and then again at 7 a.m. So if you're a director, make sure you get your information in so you can participate. At 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. we'll be doing director's chats. We do those every morning, every evening. Thank you again for coming. Tickets are available at portlandfilm.org. And remember, support independent voices. Thank you.